Week 4 is finally here. We're putting the Week 3 loss to the New York Jets behind us, and we're focusing ahead on a team that's got a similar situation as what New England does right now. The 49ers have lost their last 2 games, their record of 1-2. So on today's show, I'm going to break down my keys to victory to beating San Francisco at home in Week 4. But before we do that, look, we have gone live for every preseason game, every regular season game so far, and you guys have been crushing it. But do we keep it rolling? If you guys want us to go live on Sunday for the 49ers versus Patriots game, I need 25 new subscribers on today's video, so hit that sub button for me. What's going on, Patriots fans? Happy Tuesday. Here are my keys to victory to beat the 49ers. Number 1, contain Brock Purdy. He has made a name for himself in the mobile QB category, but there is one little asterisk next to this that does have to deal with Sunday's game and Brock Purdy maybe not having a good game. Well, he may not play at all. He is considered day-to-day right now after he's had back soreness, and it's funny because I actually saw a tweet under Adam Schefter's update saying, does his back hurt from carrying his team? You have to admit the 49ers are plagued with injuries right now, not having CMC, coming off hot off a contract extension, really starting to go very deep in their depth chart very early. So Brock Purdy may not even play on Sunday versus the Patriots, but I'll keep you guys updated. So in terms of today's video, we're going to focus on if Brock Purdy is going to play. We want him to play. We want to play the best that's out there in the NFL. So let's just say Brock Purdy is going to play. The number one thing here is to contain him. You do not want to allow him to be mobile. Why? Because they don't have CMC, but they do have Jordan Mason. And Christian McCaffrey is a huge loss. But with having a mobile quarterback like Brock Purdy, he knows how to put up yards on his own 2 feet. So if he does play, you need to make sure he's not going to be mobile because last game, out of 137 yards on the ground, Brock Purdy rushed for 41 of those. You need to keep the QB in the backfield where he belongs because he is not afraid to go and rush for a first down, especially with how plaguing the injuries have been for the 49ers. Brock Purdy may want to just take it in his own hands and be the MVP. But if he doesn't want to do that, then let's just try to keep them on the ground in general. That's where number 2 comes in for my keys to victory is you really want to focus on the ground game here for the 49ers. Like I said, no CMC. And Jordan Mason is a fine quarterback. I know he's helping out a lot of your fantasy teams right now. But we also know the 49ers have several targets in their passing game they can also go to. Brandon Ayuk, you got Juwan Johnson. Was it Juwan Jennings? Jennings. I get the two mixed up. Very different players. Juwan Jennings made his career debut last week, and then he ends up getting a loss. Despite that, knowing that they do have several options in the air, I want to keep them on the ground here because the Patriots do still have a top 5 run defense. I know it doesn't feel like that last week when Aaron Rodgers, Breece Hall, Brennan Allen, and the rest of the Jets were just running all over us, but the Patriots are still a phenomenal defensive team on the ground. So I want the 49ers to meet Keon White, to meet Devon Gottschalk, to meet Jelani Tavai on the ground, because here is what the Patriots have done in the last 3 games going up against opponents when they do keep it on the ground. They actually do have a top 5 run defense right now with what they're allowing teams to run every single week, and they face some pretty good opponents on the ground, to be honest. They're allowing 83 yards per game. That's phenomenal. Through 3 weeks, that is showing your strengths right there. And then in total yards, they've only allowed 249 yards in rushing. And they're averaging about 3.7 yards per carry. And I really like that because think about it. You have played phenomenal running backs so far in Breece Hall. You have played good teams, and you've beat them. So I do think if you can keep Jordan Mason on the ground, now if CMC were playing, my keys to victory would probably be a little bit different. But take advantage of them not having their top running back and just stick to the trenches. So here's my question here for you guys. Predict the score of the game. Do you guys think the Patriots will get a Week 4 win? Let me know in the comment section down below. They've had a little bit more time to rest than they did last week. Obviously, it was a short week, playing on Sunday, then playing on Thursday. But now they've had 10 days. So let me know what your score is. I'll give you guys my score at the end of this video. But first, let me give a huge shout out to our sponsor here on Patriots Today by Chat Sports. I want to tell you guys real quick about Factor. Factor is a great meal delivery service. It's going to make sure you guys are eating good and taking no time to do it. Factor's no prep, no mess meals help you meet your wellness goals in time for football season, for school that's just starting, and anything else you guys have coming up in the future. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are dietitian approved and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. So no matter how busy you are, you'll always have time to enjoy nutritious, great tasting meals. I tend to be a little bit of a picky eater. I don't eat red meat. It's just a preference. So I like to get my protein in other ways. So I'm always trying to bulk up, get some muscle so I can take on all these guys here at Chat Sports. Just kidding. But I always try to make myself feel with the best options possible, and that's what Factor Meals does offer. With over 35 different meals and more than 60 add-ons to choose from every week, you'll always have new flavors to explore, and you can keep your kitchen time to a minimum. Head to factormeals.com/PatchChat50. Use code PatchChat50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That's code PatchChat50 at factormeals.com/PatchChat50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is still active. I really want the Patriots to work on this in week 4 because they strayed away from the run game in week 3, and we saw how ass the Patriots offensive line is. Jacoby Brissett has no time to throw. So what do? You tag on Ramondre Stevenson and Antonio Gibson together because they do combine for a lot more yards than just one running back taking that load with 20-plus carries. And the 49ers have been thrown double backs at them all season long. In week 2, they lost the Vikings. They had 2 backs at them that combined for 114 yards. And then again in week 3, you had 98 yards combined with 2 running backs in the Rams offense. This is going to shake things up for the 49ers defense. Throw something different at them because they do still have players like Bosa that know how to stuff those trenches. So if you throw 2 different styles of running backs from Ramondre Stevenson and Antonio Gibson, it's going to make it harder on San Francisco. Not to mention, I don't know if a lot of people know this, the Patriots are one of 2 teams in the NFL that have not one but 2 top 30 running backs in the league right now in terms of rushing yards. And I'm just talking about running backs. I'm not talking about mobile QBs and Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts. The only other team that has 2 running backs in the top 30 are the Detroit Lions. And that makes sense. David Montgomery is just absolutely annihilating the ground game right now. But with having Gibson and having Ramondre Stevenson, it should be a cheat code. And Alex Van Pelt already said that he regrets straying away from the run game. I admire that you want to add the passing game in there as well as another resource, but establish the run game first. Then go to the air. Because we know the Patriots in the air, they're not that sexy, all right? When you look at this tweet here, the Patriots are the only NFL team without a single completion thrown at least 20 yards downfield. That's like a JV stat right there. An NFL quarterback in 3 games should have a completion over 20 yards. But I don't blame him. He's got 0 time. Actually, let me rephrase that. He's got 2 seconds from the snap to the drop back to throw a pass. Can you get anywhere in 2 seconds? Because I can't. I know Pop Douglas can't. I know KJ Osborn can't. I know Jacoby Brissett has seen the field, the bottom of the field, way too many times with the amount of sacks he's done. So just stick to the run game, man. Because when you did stray away from it, you saw that it was complete chaos. You almost got your quarterback hurt. He got hit several times, and he was very shaky to get up. I'm not saying neglect the passing game altogether, obviously. But establish the run game first, and then you can start to bring in your receivers. But my number 4 key to victory here is if you are going to bring in your receivers, make sure it's Pop Douglas and KJ Osborn. This is no slight to Jalen Polk, Javon Baker, or the rest of the crew. This is a strategic move the Patriots need to have until they get a better offensive line. So why Pop Douglas? Why KJ Osborn? Despite them being one of the faster receivers on your depth chart, it's the quick slants. It's the wheel routes, the jet sweeps for me. Aaron Rodgers did a very good job against the Patriots in week 3 of how quickly he was able to get the ball from in his hands out of his hands. And that's what Jacoby Brissett needs. You need a 1-2. from in your hands to the receiver's hands. And I think your two best options to get anything going in the pass game, and I just mean first downs. I just mean moving the chains. You don't have to have 50-yard bombs. It's never been Jacoby Brissett's game. But you need to have quick slants, and it needs to be Pop Douglas or KJ Osborn catching them. They're the best at it. They have the quickest hands. And we know the 49ers are increasingly getting better at their passing yards allowed. They allowed 167 yards versus the Jets. They allowed 268 yards versus the Vikings and 221 yards against the Rams. And I'll tell you what, these are three very good quarterbacks. Matt Stafford has been known to pull something out of his bag at the very end of the game. Sam Darnold, who the hell knew he could be this great? And then Aaron Rodgers, obviously one of the better pocket passers at his age. Jacoby Brissett is going to need to be a great quarterback to take on the San Francisco 49ers defense. And I do think he can do it, but I'm not expecting anything more than 150 yards in the passing game. Jacoby Brissett has yet to reach that milestone in this season. I'm talking about quick 10-yard passes. That's it. Don't get too flashy. Don't get too excited, and just get the first down. And if you do, I truly do believe the Patriots can come out of Week 4 with a win. I do. The 49ers are facing the exact same thing the Patriots are. They don't want to be the team that gets 3 straight losses in a row. So I do think the Patriots can come out of this with a field goal. You just keep pushing it upfield. You stick to what works, what worked in Week 1 against the Bengals. And I know they're 0-3, but despite Week 1, Week 2 against the Chiefs, Week 3 against the Commanders, they're putting up good. Yes, they're putting up good stats and a lot of points. The Patriots have proven that they can put points on the board, and that's all you got to do. And if you take those keys to victory, I do think it's possible. So my score is 28-25. I already asked you what your score is, but I have one more question to ask you guys here. And what are your keys to victory? We've seen really good plays. We've seen really bad plays. What works, what doesn't? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And as always, if you want us to go live on Sunday, all you guys have to do is hit that sub button for me.